Record. Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. November 3rd, 2018, I believe is what they say. So this is a Q&A session. We didn't have anybody scheduled for tonight. So the floor is all yours, guys. Margaret, how you doing? Everything okay? Josephine, Barbara?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
What's going on?
Well, I have to have eye surgery on my cataract so I can see to drive.
Oh, you just had a surgery?
Yeah, I have to have the cataract taken off so I can see.
Why don't you hold off?
I've been holding off since last August, so I don't know how much longer.
Yeah, because you know, the body will do things in its time of importance, and you know, just sometimes you need to wait that little bit longer for things to start happening in those areas, right? Um, have you tried doing eye washes with it?
Yes, every day.
You still
Yeah.
any improvements at all or nothing?
It doesn't seem to be improving that much.
How long have you had that?
Many, many years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a long, long time.
Yeah.
3 years ago, they told me to have it taken off, and I've been, so I don't want to have it done, but,
It's just one eye?
well, they want to do both, but they're not going to do both. I want to just get enough one eye to see to drive my car.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do two.
Are they going to put lenses in there?
Pardon me?
Are they going to put a crystal lens?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's, I would not also, you know, keep doing the eye washes, but do some castor oil packs on the liver. How are the kidneys filtering?
Not good. Not
Still
good.
not good. What's your dry fasting schedule?
24, 24 once a week and 12 hours a day.
Okay. Are you doing the longer one on the end of the month?
I did 36.
All right. That's good. You know, how do you feel when you're doing the longer ones, like the 36?
Uh, I was kind of dizzy,
Mm-hmm.
and
Is that what made you stop?
yeah, well, I was getting, my heart was beating, racing more too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you experimented with the semi-dry, trying to extend it?
Well, actually, I did an enema in between here to try to extend it, but yeah.
Yeah, so you're having a little bit of challenges in that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, baby steps, you know, continue digging away. Um, with the eye thing, it's been there, you know, like it's been there many years. These things will not just turn around quickly on their own. Sometimes they can. It all depends. Nobody knows, but if you persevere, it will correct itself eventually. If you feel you need to get the surgery, you know, go get the surgery. But we've seen so much magic happen. Eye cataract. I've remember people that, like cataracts would just fall off. So.
Well, I still have another month to work on this.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I might have it. I'll have to have it probably scheduled in before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. You're using the herbal eye wash, the eye formula?
I do, yes.
How many drops of that?
I've been using probably
In the
I
cup?
don't know how many ounces of water, but about no, it's 8, 9 drops in just a little bit of water.
in the eye cups?
in an eye cup, yeah.
Hmm. Is that the most you can handle?
Uh,
Because I know it does sting a little bit.
I, yeah, listing, but I keep adding more to it.
Hmm.
So,
All right.
And are you still fasting or are you eating these days?
pardon?
Are you still fasting or are you eating these days?
I'm not fasting
Yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're back to food?
Oh no. Oh, I need. I'm on day 80 something.
Wow. Awesome.
The end of November, I'll have 108 days.
Okay.
So I still have another month to go there.
How are you feeling overall?
Uh, kind of. Some days are dizziness again. The last week, it before that, it was getting better. Now it's back again. So I've been doing enemas twice a day,
Very good.
4 gallons of water at least.
Very good.
Yeah.
How's the weight?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. It's down to 95 pounds.
Okay. What's your height?
5'3".
All right. Yeah. So that's all right. What's your usual weight when you were,
120, 25.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you haven't lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I just put on bigger clothes.
Exactly.
When I go to the eye doctor, I'm going to put on slacks and a shirt. They won't take my weight.
Yeah, some comments people get from losing weight, it's just unreal. But this is the societies we live in, so we have to tolerate if we're going to be integrating with other people. That's for sure. This is the way it is. It's very, very little is understood about fasting in general. Never mind what we're doing with the long ones. The ignorance is vast in fasting, is what I've found in all these years of fasting. It's like people are literally scared of their own shadows about fasting. Some people think they'll die with no food in a few days. That's really how programmed some people are out there. And we only can elevate their souls and to one day come to an understanding, because it's as natural as breathing. Fasting, it's as natural as breathing. There's nothing scary about it. The only challenge is the state of humanity in general, especially in modern cities and so on and so forth. We're so far away from
Nature.
not in nature, but the way the physicality works. We're so plugged up with all kinds of foreign substances. It makes it challenging for people to do fasts. And this is why the whole protocol is warranted on a lot of washing. Enema is crucial, a lot of herbal support, et cetera, because the body is in a very challenged state to move out all those obstructions that have been accumulating for all those years. And it takes what it takes, like we say, 108 days, it opens the doors for you to start and continue on the path, because it is truly, it takes years to clean a body. It all depends on our genetics, our internal and external environment, our diet, what it's been like for our whole life, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, emotional levels. These all play a factor. And once we have the understanding of what happens during these fasts, we ride along, we embrace it, we use the tools to pull us through and continue. And it just goes in cycles, as you've been feeling, Margaret. You know, you're feeling good sometimes, and sometimes you feel horrific, and it just keeps changing. And the amazing thing in fasting, it can happen all within one day sometimes, that you wake up feeling amazing, and all of a sudden you feel horrific, and then in another few hours you feel amazing again. I've gone through those cycles, but it's usually happens within days or weeks, these things. But don't be surprised when these things happen quickly. Just have the understanding of what's going on. And like we say, you know, if it's too overwhelming for you, for your belief system, break the fast prudently, or slow it right down with some other juices, like, you know, that are not as strong, like maybe some pineapple or citrus or something, you know, that are pasteurized. Or you can slow them even further with some green juices. Or, you know, maybe you break the fast, which some people will have to do, because that's just the level of understanding they're at, and that's okay. This is a lifestyle, and this will be, you know, the start of many, 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 many fasts when you're living this type of lifestyle. We understand that it's an ongoing thing. We're not doing this to go back to eating 7 days a week. If we are, the understanding is just not there, because the food is where we obtain all our challenges, through eating three-dimensional foods. I'm not saying not to eat. What I am saying is we need to choose wisely when we do eat, and best to choose the least obstructive foods. As so far, the ones that we know of are fruit for the human being. You know, air and fruit, those are the least obstructive in the 3D plane that we live in. But greens are fine. They are a little more obstructive, but they're okay. You know, some people can't live without their greens, and that's fine. I still love my greens. But we also have the non-sweet fruits, the botanical fruits, the cucumbers, peppers, zucchinis, eggplants. There's so many things that nature gives us that we can play around with when we're eating, and be able to keep ourselves satisfied, because that's the key when we go back to food.
What's your plan for after this fast, Margaret?
Pardon?
What's your plan for after this fast?
Fruit for a while. Fruit, yeah. Because I don't think I can eat food right now. It's long. It smells really good when people are cooking, though.
Yeah.
But, fruit, and then maybe I gotta eat my greens eventually, maybe a couple weeks after that. But
Yeah.
salads. But it'll be, when you talk about green juices, are you talking about raw green juices?
Yeah, in general, yeah, raw.
Because I didn't see anywhere cooked juices for greens.
You can warm them up if you like. If you cook them, you can, but you're basically making a type of broth, and we use the
For soup.
yeah, but the juice doesn't have any fiber in it, right?
No, now it's through the juicer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know, if you cook them, I don't know, you know, because when we're cooking the herbs for making the tea, or putting some veggies in there, we are opening up the structure a bit to some degree. I'm not sure 100% how the cooked juices would act, if the green juices would act in the body, but that could be done. If you go buy something like a V8 or something, you know, I don't know what kind of ingredients are in V8s these days, which
Well,
has.
I can juice my own greens.
Oh, okay,
No
excellent.
problem.
Yeah, just drink them fresh. They taste good. If you want to warm them up, if you have them warm, if it's like, especially when it's going through winter, it's a little more comforting when you can warm it up. But like we said, you know, the kidney tea, you can add veggies to that and make it more of a brothy type of thing to help satisfy. But you can also do blended greens. So that will help a little bit on the digestive process. But the greens generally, they take a lot more work to put through the digestive process, much more so than any fruit, for sure. Even if you blend them and juice them, you'll see when you start breaking the fast, if you even go to a green juice, you will feel the difference of a green juice versus fruit juice and how it goes through the system. It does take much more time, even if it's a juice, is what I've noticed on myself. But these are the tools that we use, to get us through these situations. But there's green juices are great. They're wonderful. Like you can do soups, you can do smoothies, whatever. But when you break, try and stick with fruit as much as you can for at least a couple of weeks. Stay on that and get the bowels working, because nothing makes the bowels work as good as fresh ripe fruit. Fruit's the best for that.
I was thinking of going the hybrid for 5 days and 2 days of eating.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ron is going with the 1 day eating. For 2 days eating, I think.
Yeah. Well, the hybrid, you're eating 1 meal a day, right?
Well, hybrid, yeah.
Yeah. So just be very clear, and only keep things around that in your home that you're going to be able to that are positive for breaking the fast. Like keep everything else away. So that way you have lots of fresh fruit available, and some greens if you want to juice them. That would be fine. But the big key for when you break the fast is make sure those bowels move quickly, because once we break that fast, the body's been in elimination mode for a long time, and we want to get all that stuff out. Because just because it gets into the elimination mode, it doesn't mean the body's able to expel them, and that's the challenge, which few understand. This is why we have all the tools of the 8 of the herbs and the enemas and so on and so forth, and the pudding to help pull this thing out of us and not stick around within our body, because that's what makes us feel like crap when we're fasting. There's all this stuff trying to get out. These things are so obstructive. They don't leave the body unless you fast, is what I found. Once you fast, I don't care what it is, the body's going to expel it. But if you don't fast, they'll stay inside the body for many, many years. I have a friend who was doing ozone treatments with a unit he designed. It was a chamber where you'd go inside up to your neck, and he'd have jets, and he would spray very heavily warm ozonated water on the whole body. And one time he told me the story about one fellow who came in for a treatment, and after the guy left, he checked the water, and there was some stuff in the water. So he gathered it, and he sent it to a lab to find out what it was. And it was paint pigments. Anyway, what had happened, this guy ended up getting a big bump on his head, on his forehead, I think it was. And he went to the doctor, and they did a test and everything, and they had it analyzed, and it was paint pigments. So he calls up my friend after and told him the story. He goes, well, I found the same thing. There was paint pigments in my unit, and it's not from my unit because there's no paint pigments in there. Nothing that the water touches has any paint pigment. What this guy did for 15 years prior, he worked in an automobile body shop.
Oh.
And so he was always surrounded with all these paints, right? So this is 15 years. He didn't work in that place for 15 years. This stuff was all stored inside his body. And the ozone was starting to pull it out. And we didn't pull it all out because, he got that bump on his head, but my friend found it in his tank. So this is the beauty of fasting. Fasting, it just starts dumping everything, and it's just amazing, to get this stuff and be able to get it out. Like any radiation in the body, stuff like that, the body will just dump it all. Otherwise, it just holds on to these things and causes detrimental effects with us. This is why people end up dying from radiation and from different types of toxins and chemicals and so on and so on and so forth. And pharmaceuticals they've taken, they just accumulate, and it just is overwhelming for the body, and the body ceases to function. So when we fast, and we fast regularly, the body has a chance to dump and cleanse itself from all the stuff we're accumulating within our environments, within the air, within our diets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the beauty of living a lifestyle with fasting as part of it. So we can allow the body and give it a break to be able to dump all this stuff. And, we've seen people that have broken bones, and then they do a fast and they have pains right in that area for like a day or 2 or 3, because that bone never really completely healed properly. So once the body was able to recognize that it could fix it because it was fasting, it did the work on that break, which wasn't repaired properly. And so many other examples. Just remarkable what the body can do, and how magical it is. And we don't have to know anything. It does it all in autopilot. We don't need to know exactly how it works, but it does work. And this is the amazing grace of our Creator, of how He designed us. There's a fail-proof system, and it's called fasting. So this is why, if for your eye, I know it's maybe frustrating because for driving and so on and so forth, but it may not even be through this fast, or something may start happening with that eye this fast. It may be on your next round, or when you start eating. We really don't know when it's going to happen. Like I think already in her first 108 days, I think after the 108 days, her legs started straightening out when she started eating, if I remember correctly. So we don't understand exactly how things are exactly working, but we do know they do work. So that's why we just embrace the things that the body's going through when we're on these fasts, and just trust. Stay connected with people that have done it and are doing it, and just trust the process. Just trust, because the alternatives out there are not nice and not pleasant, and they don't work.
I notice my eyes are changing colors.
Okay.
And I think that's sulfur in there with the orange.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best way to get rid of that, other than with any oil packs or anything like that?
We got to work on cleaning that GI tract.
The kidneys, right?
Yeah, the kidneys need to start opening. The GI tract needs to keep purging, and you'll see it slowly lightening up more and more and more. So some people it takes longer than others. It depends on how much of that stuff we have impacted in our bowels, in our GI tract.
Could be born with it.
Yeah, some people are actually born with it, taking it on from mostly would be their mother, who's been carrying that genetics.
Or father, generations.
Yeah, but I mean, she's been carrying it, and through her lifestyle, she's been feeding the baby. But like mine, I was really, my eyes were pretty much black when I started way back. They were literally very, very, very dark, and they lightened up quite a bit overall. But I have so much of that sulfur, so much of it. And then those years I took the MSM stuff, supplement, believing, these things were good for us. So I took that for quite a number of years. And it's just, that stuff is just like molecular glue in our system. We're taking it in from the environment as well. Um, but when you're eating cleanly and fasting, the little stuff that we're taking in from the environment, your body can easily dump that. From the pharmaceuticals and the foods and so on and so forth, it just gets impacted deeper and deeper and deeper. And when the results are what we see, in which so many people have these days. A lot of people have sulfur these days, even the youngsters,
Well,
impacted through the GI tract.
they use it to harden rubber.
Yeah, to keep the rubber glued
Right?
together.
What does it do in the body, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, don't worry about it. Just keep working away. This is the living the lifestyle is how we are able to remove that stuff.
I'm actually seeing blue in there now instead of green and
Wow.
hazel.
Nice, very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. Yeah, we're all different. Like 10 people can do the exact same fast, and you're going to see 10 different things, different results happen with if you're looking at people's eyes doing exactly the same number of days, because there's so many factors that we cannot possibly have an equation to work out who, what, where, when, why, and et cetera, et cetera. It's just infinite amount of variables for each and every one of us, and it's okay. It's okay. But if those 10 people continue doing it and over and over and over, living the lifestyle, they're all going to be going towards getting the results that they want, because the body it goes into autopilot when we're fasting, and it knows what to do. It just does it in the order of importance that it knows how, because it's programmed for that. And that's the beauty. We don't have to worry about this, that, and the other thing. But we do know a few things. We do know that we need to clean the GI tract. We need to get those kidneys opened up. These things we know. And once the kidneys start opening up, we start seeing more things happening as far as a body going into regeneration and correcting deficiencies and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Once those kidneys start opening up, because it's able to remove some of those deep obstructions. It's coming out of the GI tract, it's coming out of the kidneys, it's coming out of the skin, it's coming out of the breath, the ears, the eyes, the nose, it's coming out everywhere. The whole body's dumping continuously when we're on a fast. And that's why we have all the tools, and we're continuously dry brushing, neti pot if we have a lot of congestion in the head, ear candles, just keeps things opened up and moving. That's the key. You keep the energy open and moving, because wherever there's blockages is where we have challenges in the body. Anywhere there's a pain, there's a blockage of energy in these areas, wherever it is. It could be an organ, it could be a gland, it could be a joint, it could be an eye, right? So eyes usually directly connected with liver, kidneys, GI tract, all three. But generally the whole body, we can only work on it all together. We can't focus on just working on an eye. We can't focus just working on the heart. We can't focus just working on a joint. We can only assist those blockage areas with all the tools, energy work, acupuncture. Sometimes that can help open up energy flows that's in a stagnant area. I don't know if you've done anything like that. Acupuncture, acupressure. What's it called? When they do the hands healing, slipped my mind. Reiki type of energy healing. There's a lot of things to aid and help opening up energy. And usually these energy blockages, 99.999% of the time, it's all related to emotion. Pretty much 100% it goes back to emotion. Somewhere in our lineage, or in our lifetime, that we've put a blockage in that area for whatever reason. But you're doing great, Margaret. For such a young age, you're doing amazing. Like I think you're the eldest who's gone this long. We've had a 73, 74-year-old do 72 days or something. So You know, it takes a little bit of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
It's not having a car to drive to go out and get restaurant food. That's what it takes. Yeah, and living by yourself.
Yeah, yeah. It's just awesome. But you know, if you're out in the world on your own, have no contact with anybody that's fasting, most people would never even attempt to do anything like this. I can assure you. All those years of me fasting, thought I was being crazy and ludicrous for doing these fasts, because I was fasting regularly, you know. And then as the years came on, more and more, you know, a little more people were more conscious towards eating cleaner and so on, more raw foods and so on. But the fasting thing, it's just in the last few years when we started sharing about MFS that more and more information has been gone across the internet about fasting. A lot of ignorance, mind you, that because they're always using so-called science to give us an understanding of what's happening. It's the furthest thing from the truth. Everything that I've read about what people are sharing. If you go to Arnold Ehret's book, there's a lot of truth in what he wrote. He understood what fasting was because he took it to limits. For that time, he was way ahead of his time. And it's a blessing to be able to have that as a foundation for the knowledge that we have today from what he's done. He fasted thousands of people back into health, back in, you know, over 100 years ago now. And that book is full of knowledge. So it's an awesome book to read while you're fasting, to keep the mind working at the trust level of the soul instead of having the monkey mind infiltrate and having us get into the fear and all that stuff and want to break our fast early, when really it's just sometimes a little bit of challenges for a few days or maybe even a few weeks, and then we get through it and we come out stronger. It happens every time. When people are going through these severe healing reactions and they break their fast, it doesn't mean they're going to have a good time as soon as they start eating. Some of them go through even worse challenges when they go back to food, because the body was in this wonderful purging state, and then the person ate, and the body goes, "What are you doing? I can't finish my work." And it has to, you know, kind of do a half job to try and finish removing what it started to remove. And that's what people don't understand. I see it all the time. Fear takes over. Family comes in, friends, whatever, doctors, lawyers, I don't know, but people get into that fear state, and it's not a good place to be. But,
yeah, I got that fear in about a month ago.
Yeah, when you were talking with us, yeah. It happens. It happens to all of us. It's happened to me many times, but I have to shake myself out of it. I'm saying no, and what I did is I read the Arnold Ehret books a lot during my fast, because it gave me the more of the courage and the understanding and the faith. While I was fast, I would read it because I had nothing else out there. There was no internet, none of that. That's what I used to do. Honestly, this is what I used to do. And occasionally I'll pick that book up once in a while and read it again, because there's always something new you pick up every time you read it. You're in a different state and you're receiving different information each time. Every time we peel a layer, new information comes up. But the V equals P take away O, that's profound, that formula. It's profound. That really is the basis of understanding of what fasting really is. Remove the obstructions, and vitality goes up. But back in his time, he was very careful with people that were in a toxic state back then, which is nowhere near what we are today. You know, that was the start of the pharmaceutical industry. So you can imagine the difference what we have today. But back then he was careful to put people through transitions, this, that, and the other thing. But now, you know, for me, transitions, I don't believe they're necessary, but for some people's mind, they are. We have all the tools now to get somebody through 108 days and into a proper lifestyle with the information we have now. We've done it. We've done that. But the whole thing is the understanding there for that person. Or are they going to do 108 days and think that they can go back to their old ways? And that's happened too. And that's the challenge. That's the real challenge. The transition part is only a mental barrier with people, with their belief system, and that monkey mind getting in the way. But if the understanding is clear of what we're sharing, people read thoroughly through everything, watch all the videos, have a complete understanding, not just jump in and doing 108 days and think that's all it is. Because that's what I see happening. People think that they're going to do 108 days and everything's going to be dandy. This is just the beginning after that 108 days. That 109th day is the doors are open. Do we walk through or do we close them back up? Some close them up. You know, they go back to their old ways. And that's the choice that each one of us can make for ourselves. But it's not a very prudent way to end the 108 days. It's very dangerous to go back to what you were eating. Very dangerous. And I see other people guiding people fasting, and they're eating garbage and they're fasting. It's not wise, but it's happening out there. Not wise from my understanding and my experience, that's for sure. So we can only do the best to share the proper information, the best we know how. And then it's up to the individual to make the choices of what they want to do. But who was posted today that she went to get blood work and the doctor's telling her heart's going to stop. She's got to start eating immediately. Like, oh my God. It's like going to your mechanic to get legal advice. Really? What does a doctor know about fasting? They don't know anything about the body, never mind fasting. So they are great at stabilizing people in emergency situations and some wonderful surgeons and stuff, but to the actual functions of how the body works and how it heals and all that, I don't give them much on that myself. But they have a purpose, and we love them for the emergency services they can provide us in those times of need. But for healing, only the body knows what to do. Nobody else knows. They can guess, and that's as close as they're going to come as a guess. We have really no clue. We have a basic understanding, but exactly how it's working, it's so vast. It's so vast. Even if we knew, I don't think it's going to help us anyway, because the body's going to do it in the order of importance anyway. It's going to work on its own time and the way it was programmed. So why put the energy there? Let's put the energy and focus on what we need to do every day and where we want to go and how we're going to live the lifestyle. Let's put all that energy there. How and who, forget it. We just focus on the few little things and let the magic unfold. And it does every time. Every time it just unfolds. Cleaning those bowels, so important, so important, so important. I don't know how we can stress it enough, and I still hear people saying, well, what if we can't do them every day? Don't do the master fast. Don't do the master fast. You can't clean your bowels every day. If you don't have that hour every day for yourself on your wet days, don't do master fast. Go do some other cleanse, because it's so vital and crucial and important part of what we're doing to wash out and help aid that body to move that stuff out. It's so important. And it's amazing once these obstructions start moving out, what the body starts to do. Will we lose weight, Margaret? Of course we're going to lose weight.
Right.
Of course we're going to lose weight.
Right.
And not everybody goes to Skin and Bones. You know, some people do, but not everybody goes to Skin and Bones in 108 days. And we don't know all the reasons behind it. We don't know. But we do know that every single one, if they follow and break the fast properly and eat properly, the body's going to gain back all the weight, much more so in a much better state than it was before, in a much healthier state with proper materials. So I don't worry about these things. But we all get bombarded, you know, even me fasting all those years, you know, I have to hear, you know, you're losing too much weight. Maybe you need to break your fast. Yeah, okay, sure. Thank you.
Right. As long as I still have the strength. The weight don't matter.
Exactly. We know what's going on,
Yeah.
but we start allowing the negative comments sometimes to infiltrate, and that starts bothering us. So this is why we when we have the true understanding, we have a connection, staying in tune and supporting, you know, we get through those times with all these negative comments. And, you know, wear loose clothes when you go out. Some people get really thin on the face and it's noticeable, especially if they were overweight. But it's okay. It's okay. The body can rebuild itself 10 times over. No problem. No problem whatsoever. It's no issue. Everybody's put on beautiful weight after they've done 108 days. So there's no concern at all, except the fear that's instilled in you from whoever. Josephine's asking a question. How many liters of water when you do an enema? I've never done an enema. I do have the kit, but I'm not sure how many liters I'm meant to use. Well, in the protocol, which we highly advise you read, when you're on master fast, full MFS, we say do at least 6 liters up to 10 liters or more of water to wash out the colon. Now, it's not going in all at once. Nobody can hold that much water. So you can maybe, some people can maybe hold only half a liter at a time. Some people can hold 1 liter, and some people can hold 2 liters or a little more all at once. And what we found is as the body purges over the weeks and months, you'll be able to hold more and more and more. And so you take it in, you hold, and you dump, and you repeat till you've done at least minimum 6 liters is what we suggest. You know, the days that you don't feel well because the body's trying to rid those obstructions, the toxins, etc., from what the fasting has loosened up, you can do more. And you can do them twice a day if it's too much and too overwhelming for you. Like Margaret mentioned, you know, do 2 in a day. Do 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, you know, at the inside your wet windows. You know, when we're putting all that effort to do however long a fast we want to do, whether it's 1, 2, 3 months or more, you know, we're putting all that time and energy. You know, we're making available so much extra time each day by not eating. Everybody who's done mass fast knows that you have more time. So put that extra time in pampering yourself and aiding the fast so you have a better experience and better results. You know, talking about spending time cleaning the colon, dry brushing, energy points, movement, being in nature if you can, or watching nature and listening to nature. Do all these things so you'll have a better experience and better results. So that's how we do enemas. If you have a Colima board, Colima board is a glorified enema. It's just a board that goes over your toilet and has a 5-gallon pail and the hose, and your butt goes up against the board, horizontal, into the toilet. So the water's going into the anus. It's got a small little tube, and then the waste comes out around the tube. You don't pull it out and in like an enema. It always stays there, and you lay there still. And the water goes in, and you're dumping continuously. And you can do 5 gallons, which is about 18, 19 liters, in about 40, 45 minutes. Whereas to do that many liters and with an enema, you'd probably be there an hour and a half or more. So an enema is, a Colima board is a very useful and handy tool. I bought mine maybe 10, 12 years ago at least. And it's a lifetime product once you buy it. It's awesome. And it's also good to go get a professional colonic done. Like that's what Rana does. She's a colon hydrotherapist. With that, we're using a closed system. A Colima board is what we call an open system, meaning that the water goes out of a hose and it doesn't go inside of a hose. A closed system, they put a Proctor scope in the anus, and the water goes into that tube, and the waste comes out into the tube, so it goes straight into the sewer system. You don't smell anything. It's a closed system. So when you'll get a colonic done professionally, when it closes the system, it's much more efficient. Not only that, because of its closed, but you're getting probably anywhere from 20 to 40 gallons or more of water in an hour session.
Yeah, 50 liters.
Yeah, well, yeah, it depends.
50 liters.
You're talking liter. I've measured. I've done 40 gallons in colonic sessions.
At least.
Not liters, gallons. These are the tools available, and that would be great to go do it once a week or at least once a month, even if you have a Colima board at home, because it's more efficient than a Colima board, and it really helps exercise the colon. Just think of the water as a weight that you're exercising your muscles. Do your muscles get weaker or do they get stronger when you work out with weight? The colon gets stronger when you work it out with weight, and the weight is the water. So it's exercising the colon with the water. You're putting in the water, taking it in, and it stretches it out, and then the colon has to work it, the water, and dump it out. So it's just exercise for the colon. And, it's much better to do an enema if you're constipated and keep the stuff inside you. Josephine, I live in a flat share. My flatmates won't be happy with me using a Colima board. I'm aiming to save up to have a closed system colonic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, when you're living with other people and you're sharing a bathroom, it's not really that messy. In under an hour, I've done it, cleaned everything up, put everything away. I wash it in the shower or in the bathtub. We use Pool Shock and bleach. They're very inexpensive, and if you know how to use them, they're not harmful. So we clean everything up, and it's disinfected, and away we go. In the meantime, I'll use the enema bag in my room. Eek. Yeah, you can have a pail, an emergency pail, if you can't hold it, is what I suggest. Yeah, you open the window, and so let the odor out. Get yourself some essential oils, some Palo Santo wood, so you can burn, and it gets rid of the smell pretty quickly. So there's a lot of techniques we can use to do that, especially when you're doing the long fast. The odors can be horrific. Really horrific, especially if you came from a North American or SAD diet or whatever, anything diet, the odors will not be pleasant, especially as you go deep into the fast. You get some pretty nasty odors coming out. But it's all good news when you start smelling that old stuff coming out. You know that you're digging deep. Josephine, are you in our group on the Facebook? Yes. Yeah, there's so many people. If I don't see faces, I don't know who you are. I'm a watcher. There's a lot of watchers. A lot of watchers. And we hope more people will open up and share, because this is the beauty and the strength of our group, is the support, the inspiration, with each other. This is what makes everybody able to go where they never believed they could. Many, many people said they would never have been able to do it without the group's help. And it's how I stay inspired. I've been doing this on my own for many years, but it's so much easier when you'll be able to talk with people. And this is why I'm still here over 3 years sharing and supporting, because I keep myself inspired with everybody else doing it instead of being on my own. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. It seems the universe kicked my butt to share this information. So here I am, supporting as best we can. And we're doing all we can to hold everybody's hand as they go through their unique new experiences. For most people, this is very new experiences. A lot of people came from eating clean and fasting, but nowhere near anything of what we're doing. Some people, would do 3-4 day fast, a week or 2 weeks, maybe 30 days, but pushing the envelope to where very few have gone, 3.5 months. And it's still not a very long time. We've had a couple people go longer, and one person is in his 3rd year on MFS, full MFS, without eating. So
He doesn't eat.
yeah, he's not going back. He's staying on liquids. So how far can you go? As far as your belief system will allow. That's all it is. We can be criticized, this, that, and the other thing. It doesn't matter. It's all going to come down to your belief system and how much trust you have in your soul. Because your soul is the guiding hand of your physicality through God. He gave you the soul so you can create your physicality. And that's all we need to trust in, which is our Creator. So we build ourselves up. With each fast, you get a little more trust, a little more trust, a little more trust. We've had people that could barely do a 24-hour dry fast, and now they're able to do 3, 4, 5 day dry fast. But this is after about a year or more, up to 2 years working, baby steps, increasing little at a time, and gaining that confidence, peeling the layers, gaining a new understanding. Because the understanding comes within. I can't give you the understanding. The understanding comes within through your experience. And that's the beauty. You don't have to believe any word of anything we say, but just do it and start asking the proper questions, because the answers will show up. And as you're fasting, the proper questions will come up. So the answers will show up immediately, because the answers have always been there. It's not something that's being created. The answers are always there. They've always been there. Everything that's been invented on this planet and being invented has already been all created. Even the things that haven't been invented yet, because it's creation. It's all there. We're just accessing the information. We have all these planets spinning in the air, in the middle of space, for who knows how long. They have no engine, no fuel, no waste, no food. And they continue to move. And if you look at the atom, it's the same identical concept of this planets. And it just multiplies itself in all the different galaxies and universes. So there's an amazing intelligence behind it all. And that's all we're trying to reconnect to that awareness, which is already there. You know, it's like there's that foggy veil that we're trying to clean and get the clarity, because it's always there. It's not something new. It's always there. The information's always there. It's always been there. Always will be there. You really want to do the MFS? Yeah, when you're ready, make sure you have all the materials and jump in. Have a clear, written out plan of what you're going to do before, during, and after, and away you go. Unfortunately, a really bad financial situation, so I can't afford the tinctures. Was aiming to do the MFS hybrid with no tinctures until I can afford to do the full MFS. Can I do this for 2 months and gain the healing benefits? Just start on eating fruit and doing the dry fasting schedule, Josephine.
So hybrid has herbs.
Yeah, the hybrid is 1 meal a day and we use herbs. So just eat fruit and do the dry fast. But I can tell you, in Toronto, eating just fruit and it's more expensive than being on massive fast.
The cheapest would be to do the hybrid with the 4 tinctures, 100 ml. That would be the cheapest. If you want to do Master Fast hybrid,
to get started,
I would do it with the 4 tinctures, the basic tinctures, and 100 ml, which is the cheapest.
Yeah, that's we have the 100 ml size. I don't know if you know that we put that online not too long ago. So somebody in a challenge situation, to buy the 250 ml for some people, it's too much of a challenge all at once. But when you break it up to daily, the cost of doing MFS is anywhere from $10 to $20 in that range, depending on how much juice you drink, depending on the cost of the juice, depending on how many dry fast days. Your dry fasting days are pretty much free, unless you're doing a small amount of tinctures those days, which could be drops, and it could be pennies. In the moment it's rent or tinctures, I do not want to. Yeah, but you're spending your money on food is what we're saying. So unless you're eating just rice and potatoes, eating fruit is expensive. In Toronto, we bought mangoes last week and they were over $4 each mango. So a meal of mangoes is probably anywhere from 3 to 6 mangoes for people. And that's more expensive than a day of master fasting for us. I'm just saying what's the cost out there. Fruit eating is very, very expensive these days.
Your choices to get into a cleaner lifestyle would be to eat very clean, and that's fruits and vegetables, raw or raw uncooked. And the other choice would be to do the Master Fast hybrid, where you're eating less, or doing the full Master Fast, you're eating less, but you're doing the herbs and the juice as well. So you're paying for these. So you can check which is cheapest for you, because everybody's different.
You're in England. That's a 30 pounds budgeting for food this week. Again, I understand it's best to do it properly. There's only one way to do must fast, the right way, or there's no way. But 30 pounds, you're in England, so you guys have even more expensive fruit than we do here, because people have shared their costs in England. England is one of the most expensive. Toronto's right behind.
What are you eating with 30 pounds?
There's ways of maybe going to the supermarkets and fruit and asking the managers for their waste, the fruit that they throw out. That's all still good, and some of it might be starting to rot or ripen a bit, and you can get those things cheap for eating fruit. Even I'll buy some of that stuff because it's better than the stuff they have on the shelves that's unripe. So I always go look on those shelves for ripe fruit. It's cheap in the market.
That's good. 30 pounds is not bad.
Yeah, so start on fruit and dry fasting. 1 pound for 5 oranges, for example. Yeah, we get a bag of small oranges for about $2-3 a small oranges. I don't know how many oranges, but not that much. It's a small bag. Yeah, it's good. We had SK join us. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, this is my first time on. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know if you guys heard my dogs barking.
Yeah, it's okay. It's part of the family. How you doing?
Great. Day 27.
Awesome. How you
Yeah.
feeling?
Feeling good. I mean, I'm kind of, I haven't really committed to a number. I was thinking 40. I did do 9 days before, and the reason I broke it, I kind of just got the thought of food and couldn't stop thinking about food. This time, like, I'm able to enjoy smells and hear people talk about food, and it doesn't bother me.
Excellent.
But I would like to partake in Thanksgiving, which, you know, involves eating. So I would like to break before Thanksgiving. But I feel so good. And then just the nuisance of having to start cooking and buying food. I'm like, why am I going to go back to eating? So it's
Yeah, like honestly, going fasting through the holidays, you're gonna feel much better.
Yeah, I know, and it's funny because most people are doing the opposite. They're
Big-
fasting through the holidays, and I'm breaking mine to enjoy the holidays.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm still struggling with it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, is this your first time? I know you did your 9 days, but was this your first time experimenting fasting?
Yeah, I'm terrible at fasting. The 24 hours I can barely get to. I'm just going to put you on mute for 1 second while I kick my dogs out of the room.
Sure.
Sorry.
Which part of the planet are you on?
I'm from Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Yes.
Nice. How's the weather?
Awesome. I'm probably the only one that complains it's getting too cold right now. We like the sunshine and the beach, and it feels like fall where it's a little cold for all that. But
Very good.
yeah.
So, any magical moments happen yet?
Nothing like too crazy. I feel like I'm at a lull where nothing has happened. So I'm like, okay, what's the next cool thing that's going to happen? So I'm sure something's building up, but I had like a big liver dump and a couple worms. My 9 days, I got some mucoid plaque out, but I haven't really got much mucoid out this time around. So I don't know. I feel like I might be backed up somewhere.
Yeah, well, we've seen
Everywhere.
people not been able to dump the real old stuff till like 50, 60 days. Some people still locked up. So as we go through the days and the weeks, more and more surprises start coming. And don't expect anything, just whatever comes, embrace it and ride it through. It's all
It's
good.
an awesome journey. Thank you guys for your dedication. It's just amazing what a foundation you've really given us, and how, you know, learning from other people, you know, everyone, there's many different ways people can experiment, and you guys have done it all and put it together. So it's nice to, you know, hear from people. I always watch all the Zooms after the fact, but this is my first one making it live. But,
Right.
Definitely watch a lot of videos, and I love hearing from people how, you know, they've done the master cleanse, and this is nothing like it because I never got to the master cleanse. So I'm like, oh, good. You know, I took the shortcut straight to the top, and it's everyone at work. I'm starting to get comments. You're so skinny. You know, you're too much weight. You need to eat. You need to put on muscle. Which is really ridiculous. I'm not nearly that skinny yet. But yeah, so it's cool.
Yeah.
I keep telling people it's so easy. Like the first 9 days were hard for me, but this time it's really pretty easy. That, you know, you think mentally it's going to be a huge hurdle. Like I said, the dries are my hardest.
Yeah, but most people go through the whole fast experience pretty good. It's when they go back to food is the tough part.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of had, I mean, I wasn't fasting at the time, but I injured myself on some Snickers bars. I ate really healthy for a long time. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to have a Snickers bar. And I ate one and I threw up for 2 days. Ooh. It was so terrible. So I'm afraid I'm going to I can hurt myself.
Yeah. People have killed themselves when they go back to food. It's not the fast. It's when they just, you know, you have many weeks of no food in the body and you put some real heavy stuff into the body. It's not going to be pleasant. Not going to be pleasant.
And Rana, thank you so much for something you've said in the past. for a long time, I kind of felt like my body was breaking down because I would react to everything and I would get really frustrated. Like, why can't I be like a normal person? And why do I have to, you know, react to this and react to that? But Rana said, you know, that's your body talking to you. And then since then I've been like, oh, you know, like, okay, I can embrace this now, because, you know, most people are so numbed up that they don't feel all these things.
They don't feel anything. Yeah. Yeah. When I look back many, many, many years ago, you know, eating everything and anything, no concept of any discussion with the body and correlation with what you ate. There wasn't any. So yeah, the body talks to you. The senses are there for a reason. And when they wake up, they really talk loud.
Yes, definitely. Actually, I did want to ask you a quick question. My dad's having a lot of health issues and he's reacting to lemon. He can't have lemon or strawberries or all the things that are good for you. So it's just stirring up waste. I mean, if I'm trying to tell him about the Master Fast, obviously I'm losing weight, so it's a discussion for everyone. But you know, I'm telling him, Dad, he's had every test through all the doctors, and of course they never have answers. And I keep kind of feeding him this information, trying to help him, but I'd love to see him get on it. But because he does react to lemon, just substitute with like orange or something.
There's lime. There's lime.
Does he react to lime?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Pineapple?
I think everything else is okay. It's just the lemon.
You know, he can, if you would just put like a few drops of the lemon and a little bit of pineapple, so you have some activation happening in the juice. But what's his regular diet? Anything and everything?
For the most part, I mean, he's like one of those people that he's all or nothing. So he can have like really good self-control and have a strict diet and, you know, eat very small amounts. He's quite thin for his age and prides himself on, you know, his low body fat and working out every day and all that. But he right now he's eating mostly, like, he says vegetarian, but he's eating egg sandwiches and, you know, pizza. So not that great, but he does eat a lot of fruit.
Lacto-vegetarian, lacto-ovo
Yeah.
vegetarian, they call it, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, there's many things you can do, go into a hybrid and stuff like that. But ultimately, these kind of reactions, there's just the lymph system is backed up, GI tract's backed up. That's all it is. Body's trying to move things out. Any chance it gets when he takes in the lemon or these other fruits, it's just stirring things up. And it's not a comfortable feeling. They look at it as the blame to the lemon and stuff, but it's the body. The body's plugged up. That's all it is. Body's plugged up. I had horrific allergies almost 30 years ago, and they all disappeared. You know?
Yep.
So sometimes some of the fruits, it could be, if they're not organic, there's whatever chemicals have been sprayed on them. People are reacting to those.
Yeah.
And what he can try and do is get organic and or wash the stuff either with ozone, which is the best, or baking soda, and see if that changes anything. Do baking soda soaks. So there's a lot of things he can do, but ultimately he's going to have to clean out that body. Whether people understand it or not, they're plugged up. If you eat foods, if you eat three-dimensional foods, you're plugged up. I don't care what diet. If you've been eating, you're plugged up. That's what I've discovered. I don't care what diet. It's just the level of obstruction depending on the diet, but everybody's plugged up. Especially if there's no fasting in their lifestyle. They're plugged up big time, because eating 7 days a week, it's always building, never ever time for the body to dump. So the body's continuously plugging itself up and trying to dump as best it can because it doesn't have a break. That's really what's happening. So once we live a lifestyle less is more, we understand that going back to eating 7 days a week is ludicrous. That's the one thing that I wish everybody understands. never go back to eating 7 days a week. 1 to 6 days maximum. If you stay with less, even better. Yeah. So, it's all a learning curve for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. What was your name?
Sally.
Sally.
King. And then
Okay, Sally.
Adorno is my current last name.
It's awesome. Yeah, just are you drinking enough fluid every day? Everything's going good. Enemas, blah blah blah. Lots of
Yeah, I
support.
mean, usually like that last cup of the 2 liters, I may not get to, but I feel like I run out of time. I work full time. I have 2 small children, and usually we like lay down together, and they won't go to. It's not like I can just send them in their rooms to go to sleep. And I may fall asleep with them and have the intention to get back up and do stuff, but yeah, I do my best, but sometimes I miss like an evening of dose of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the enemas, are you doing enough enemas?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of short on time, so some days if I do them in the morning, I have time. I don't give myself enough time, unfortunately, in the mornings, but to, wake up and get the kids off and then have time before I have to go to work. So sometimes I've had to like break it up and do some in the morning and some at night. But I definitely always get it in, and I feel like I really kind of have to get to almost the 10 liters because I don't think 6 reaches like far enough for me.
Yeah. The more washing, the better. That's one of the few things we do more of because we haven't been washing our insides for many, 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 many years. So we need a good washing.
True.
But this is where the fasting is the big helping hand that we can do much better thorough washing. Because washing while we're eating, we're not going to get into the levels that we're seeing. It's just not going to happen with any food.
And I just cringe because like my whole life I had severe constipation, and like only since I dropped dairy, I don't know, like 4 years ago, did that like alleviate. So I was one of those terrible octo-lavo vegetarians that most of my diet was wheat and dairy, and it just made me so constipated, and I cringed because I know all of my health issues are probably related to that, just being backed up for all those years.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And this is why, you're saying you haven't been releasing much lately, but it's hard to comprehend, Sally, on how much crap the body holds on to. It really, really is. Like, until you see what comes out, for weeks and weeks, then the understanding starts clearing up because it's just, wow. Some people, they released more deeper stuff on their second long MFS, than the first. So it's hard to say. Like for me, it took me 5 years to solve a really, really severe mucus problem. Over 5 years.
Yeah.
People are looking to fix their problems in a few days or weeks or months. Good luck. Yeah, I can understand that miraculous instantaneous healing could happen, but it's very rare and far in between that we'll see stuff like that. It takes work, dedication, devotion to make the choice to live this lifestyle. And it's not for everybody, that's for sure.
I was looking for Artie's testimonial, and I came across whatever she'd said, that she'd been fasting for 16 years before trying the protocol, and just how the protocol has changed her life is incredible. So I definitely feel like I've jumped to the head of the line, like 16 years of fasting. How amazing on its own is that?
I wish.
Look at her.
I wish I had this information back then.
Yeah,
but you can be on soon?
Yeah, December 1st or beginning of December she's coming.
Yeah, we'll finally get her to do an interview.
That'd be. I know. I feel like I missed it. I keep scrolling through all the videos. I'm like, I can't find it. So that's what I found a written one.
Yeah, she's been writing quite a few, but we haven't not done one with Artie, so it'll be coming up. and that'll be awesome.
Look forward to it. Yeah, definitely.
She's overcome so much amazing, miraculous transformations that, they say genetics cannot be reversed. Bull crap. She's one of the proofs that it can be.
Yeah,
Her leg and her ribs straightened out and her spine. Like, these things don't happen if you're not correcting genetics, because she was born like that. And we have Kelly Kibbe, her ear completely changed, if you've seen that photograph before and after. So these are things that when you start dedicating, devoting, you will see these things happen. Maybe on a not drastic scale, because some people were born with more of the genetic challenges than others, but they are there. Even on people who so-called we're all normal, you'll see things changing, and you'll notice certain things change on your body. Wow, okay, yeah. And so it's awesome. It's awesome.
Very inspirational. Thank you all.
You're welcome.
Am I the only one on?
No, there's a few.
Okay, I can't see. Sorry, I've never used this before. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, if you look, there's a speaker view, there's a gallery view, so you can use either view if you have to play with it a bit. It's a very nice software, this Zoom. It works very well. We very rarely have any challenges with it. It works beautiful. So they've done a really nice job with it.
Awesome.
So if anybody else, or we can call it a night. We got to get some plumbing done. We have a little bit of a leak in the kitchen. And we'll, one more question from Josephine. Go ahead. I bought grape juice and lemon. Can I consume this while you're eating? Sure. Yeah, of course.
Best in the morning.
Just like I wouldn't be doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use the bubbly before and after your dries the way we have planned, because you should have a dry fasting schedule. And first thing in the morning before you eat your fruit, you may want to drink a glass or two at the most of the juice. Don't go crazy on it, because the juice does to start stirring up things, and this is why we have the whole protocol. The cooked juice is, as we call liquid Drano. Liquid Drano is a product they use to open up plugged up drains in North America here.
And also consuming the juice between the meals would ferment. The sugar would ferment because it cannot. It ferments because the food is still digesting, and the sugar is sitting there, so it ferments. So you want to drink it in the morning before you eat on an empty stomach, and then have your fruits, and then if you want the vegetables.
It's not so much sugar. It's the stuff within the GI tract that starts getting loosened up and starts fermenting.
When you're eating, you're gonna be backed up. When you're clear and you're drinking the juice, that's fine. Yeah. But when you're backed up from the day before you're eating.
Like my 80-year-old mother, she has her glass of grape juice with the lemon every morning after her tea, after her kidney tea. So that's all she has, though. She's not on master fast. She'll never do a master fast. She eats everything and anything, but at least she has a glass of grape juice. All right. So if that's the last of it, we can call it a close. Where are we at? An hour and a half. When do you suggest to eat the plasma pudding? You can use that while you're eating as well, but if you're taking it when you're eating, don't do as much. Just do maybe 1 to 3 teaspoons instead of tablespoons. So that's maximum a tablespoon. That can also help absorb and move things through. So you can do that as well. No problem. All the stuff we have that we use on MFS can be used while you're eating. generally. Just with a bit of adjustments. That's just use prudence on everything. We Massive Fast is not a juice fast, and we are very adamant about people trying to do a juice fast with cooked juice. It's just ludicrous, and we don't want anything to do with that. With all the experiences that we've gone through, we know a little bit more, and not to do that. If you want to do a juice fast, do a raw juice fast. We are not about juice fasting. We are about living the lifestyle of less is more. We are a complete system program lifestyle with that structure, and everything we use and do has many years of experiences behind it, not through only myself, but through many teachers. So that's why it's the only thing we support is the system and the clean eating in between, which is crucial. The least obstructive is fruit and salads. These are the things that we eat when we're not fasting or when we're on the hybrid. So all is well. You're welcome. All right, so if that's it for tonight, we thank you so much for coming and joining and supporting each other and inspiring each other and asking the questions. And hopefully we gave a little bit more clarity from the little we know, to be able to assist people. And we keep going. One day after.
Sorry, Gino.
Hey, Judith. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Sorry, I'm just. I have a quick question. I'm sorry, I just come now, so probably maybe someone asked that question. But I was asking about the lemon juice. You know how in a new protocol you recommend to cook the juice as well?
For the lemon, yeah.
Yeah. Would you recommend to cook the juice as well for the enemas? Because I feel like I have better result when it's not cooked. Because I've been trying both the cooked lemon juice in my enema bag, and then, or maybe it's because I'm plugged up again.
You're getting better results with the raw juice of the lemon?
Yeah, when it comes to enemas, I've been having more release with the raw.
Are you talking about the lemon with the grape juice?
No, just the lemon in the water, sorry.
Yeah, we don't have any in our protocol, just lemon. We have lemon with the juice, with the grape juice, just the same as the protocol. We don't have anywhere in the protocol to do just lemon enemas.
No, yeah, but oh, really?
Yeah.
Lemon with water.
It's the same as the grape juice we drink with a little bit of lemon, yeah.
Yeah, but you're saying that in the enemas bag with the water, we can use the baking powder, or we can use the juice, or the teas, or the tinctures, and I was guessing we can probably use the lemon too.
For the grasses, no, but we don't have just lemon. No, we just use the lemon to activate, not as an enema on its own with water. Try it with the grape juice.
Yeah, I tried when I was doing the 108 days last year, but I didn't try it yet. This time maybe I should do that version first. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
When we mix it with the juice, the cooked, some people that have tried, they couldn't do it with the cooked. It was too strong for them, the cooked lemon with the cooked grape juice. So they went back to the raw lemon, because these are just activators. We don't rely on the lemon for doing any of the work. As we know, many people have done Master Cleanse, which is all based on lemon and cayenne, right? It's mostly lemon with the water and maple syrup. I don't know if anybody's done that, but
I did that one.
It does not
like years ago.
Yeah, it does not have much power. I've done it in the past, and there's just no comparison to the power, the cleansing power of what we're doing, because we're not doing a juice fast, we're doing a system.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, folks, we will close her up now. so we can go finish our plumbing. And plumbing inside, plumbing in the house. We got to fix the little leak. And we'll see you guys, either Wednesday or next Saturday. So thank you so much again for joining us. And we keep that plasma love always flowing. Keep stay connected to the page. Keep inspiring others that are new to the page. And we can do anything. Everything's possible, and we've seen it. So thank you so much, and we'll see you all again. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.